What's up, Leafs fans? Welcome back to another Leafs Nation After Dark. I'm Zack Phillips, and tonight we're going to be breaking down game number 43 of the Toronto Maple Leafs regular season as they drop this one to the Carolina Hurricanes tonight, 6-3. I hopped on. Before I even came on here, we were going to be joined by Rosehill here tonight. I was texting Rosie about what was going on, what my thoughts were on the game, and Rosie and I seem to probably be pretty much in agreement about how this one went and how we're both feeling about it. Come on, there's a couple things, not really that frustrated, but whatever. Some stuff stunk here tonight. Touch on it, we'll move on and get it over with. And then I look at the chat, and the chat is saying basically the same thing to start here. So, I mean, who knows where the stream will go tonight, but we'll break down everything that happened. We will be joined by Rosehill and to help break this one down. And as always, this is a presentation of Bet365, proud partner of the Leafs Nation pregame and the Leafs Nation After Dark. Open an account with Bet365 today and bet on a huge range of markets. Use code NATION, NATION, that's code NATION, all caps, whatever the moment. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Make sure to head on over to Bet365 to sign up today. As well here, as you guys know, we are also having a very cool initiative here on the stream this season, whether it's the morning take show, whether it's right here on the After Dark show. We're breaking everything down, as well as answering questions from you guys in the chat. One thing that has been part of my show for a long time has always been the super chats. And those of you guys who continue to send super chats and participate in the show, it's been very appreciated as always. At all times, and you guys make your way in here, and when I answer all the super chats that you guys bring up. But this year is very special because we are partnering with Sick Kids as our super chat charity partner this season. A very, very cool initiative here happening on the Leaf Station YouTube channel. If you guys want to make sure your question or comment gets on the show, hit us with a super chat. Proceeds from our super chat go to Sick Kids, Canada's first children's hospital and a top research intensive children's hospital in Canada, and third in the world. Thank you to Sick Kids. And as always, proceeds from our super chats go to Sick Kids. Let's get right to it here right now. I don't want to waste any time. I want to get him in here right away to help break this one down. Welcome to the Leafs Nation After Dark yet again, Rosehill. Rosie, how you feeling after this 6-3 loss to the Hurricanes here tonight?
That game was dumb is how I'm feeling. I'm not going to do what Nick Alberga thinks. I'm going to do an overreact, as he calls it, a scheduled loss.
Yes.
But it was what it was. It could have been so much more. It wasn't. Timing wise, I think it was about time they kind of had one of those. They just didn't do enough to win by any stretch, especially with the effort that the Hurricanes gave. So chalking it up to a loss that was coming if you're thinking about it. I don't want to overreact, but it was pretty ugly. But again, it's one of those ones I think that you chalk it up, put it on the shelf, move on.
I just basically picked off a couple of things that I was like, that kind of stunk here tonight. Some of them have been some lingering issues, one of which kind of got exposed a little bit more than usual. I don't know if you agree with this. Okay, so one of the things that I was looking at is I don't think they've been that great defensively over the last stretch of games, and I think that they've got bailed out by goaltending. And it's I keep having this debate with myself, and then I guess with the chat at times, where it's okay, your defense isn't that great, but you are getting bailed out by goaltending. That's a great thing. That's something you've not experienced before. I'm not going to I'm not going to lose my mind on Joseph Woll because he's been pretty much unbelievable all season, other than one game when he first got back from injury. But I don't know, he didn't look that great here tonight. I'm not going to put it as much on him. The guys in front of him defensively were not very good tonight, were they?
No, they weren't. I mean, top to bottom, the forwards weren't very good. The D weren't very good, and Joseph Woll wasn't very good. But,
Yeah.
In the long run, this might be a good thing because, like you said, they have been relying on their goaltending too much. They've been getting bailed out by it, and this might be a little bit of a reminder to be hey, that's not a formula that good teams rely on. Just be dog shit defensively, whether it's coming off the walls, D zone, clear in the middle. doing all those little things that add up to clearing pucks from the dangerous areas, they weren't doing, and they've gotten away with it. Let's be honest. And every team at this time of year can clean things up and have things that they're addressing, but the Leafs have been on a bit of a heater. And let's be honest, some of those games I don't think they 100% deserve to win, but they got the job done at times. And now this is a little bit of a wakey, if you ask me, for them to be like, all right, we have some things in our game that we can clean up. And it's kind of like a throwback to like, oh yeah, that's what it feels like to not get the saves on the
Yeah.
on the timely moments throughout the game. And you do that enough times, and 2-3 get by the guy, and all of a sudden you just simply lose the game. Where I'm hoping they can take that as a little bit of a wake up call to clean some shit up, especially in their D zone.
Yeah, it's like very obvious things here too, right? Like there was a couple goals that I looked at, and it's like, where were the Leafs forwards? Well, you're counting down below that dots, down below the hash marks. 1, 2, 3 forwards. Where are they all looking at the puck? And then there's Canes players coming in down behind them, crashing in hard to the net. Puck comes out. That's how the one Jordan Staal goal that was scored. There was an opportunity with like 8 minutes left in the third period. Matthews just completely like, I don't know if he just spaced out or what happened, but he's just not looking, and all of a sudden he's just standing straight-legged. Puck comes out. It doesn't end up in the back of the net, but it's just stuff like that, and it's like, I know Alberga saw the tweet. I can't wait for these guys to overreact. I'm just not tonight. I don't know. Maybe it's also just like a point of like, that was so stupid. Like Rosie, come on. That was so stupid that it's like, that can't possibly happen again. Like, it just can't. That was so dumb. That whole game.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. It's maybe Vegas knows something that we didn't. Like, they were super underdogs for tonight's game,
Yeah.
and they're way above them in the standings. They're on a 5-game heater. Their road record is fantastic. Joseph Woll has been fantastic. Like, what? Because McCabe is out, Vegas just flips the. It was weird, and maybe the timing of it or the math adds up. I don't know, but it was about time they kind of dropped one of those ones. And I honestly, it didn't seem like they had the focus that
No.
they needed. They're at the end of a road trip. They've had a lot on their plate, but honestly, that's the first game, and it's January 9th, that Joseph Woll has played poorly. Every other game he's played good or damn good. And that's the first time he's kind of had he kind of played poorly tonight. And I don't put it all on his shoulders by any stretch. Like you said, some brain dead maneuvers going on in the D zone. I thought there was a lot of opportunities actually for Toronto
Oh, yeah.
to bury, and they kept going back and forth there in the first to the middle part of the game with going goal for goal with Carolina. But they could have buried a couple there. I mean, Robertson could have had 3 tonight all day long. He didn't. Willie got his chances and then went absolutely ghost mode again. Marner could have had a 1 or 2. And it was just like, they just didn't have it, man. That's why I'm chalking it up. I'm going to put it right back in Alberga's face and say, suck on that. We're not overreacting to this. I'm not freaking out. I'm not calling for anyone's head. It was just kind of like he says, a scheduled loss. Doesn't mean it's right or it's okay. I'm sure Chief is going to want to, hit the reset button real hard with these guys mentally and be like, all right, that's what happens when you show up unfocused and unprepared. Let's not have that feeling again. But again, 82 game season, you can have one of those.
In terms of calling for someone's head, your tune might change in a couple of moments when I ask you about something. Something that we just got a super chat about, actually, right as I was saying that, unfortunately. But let me get to the other super chats first, and then I'll get to this super chat that just got sent in by this asshole right now. So let's go to the first super chats here, Rosie. Okay, super chats. First super chats come here from Haters Will Hate. He sent 2 super chats and then immediately followed up with a question, not with a super chat, and said, no super chats, question mark. So I don't know. Make of that what you will, but that was the one. The other one here, which I'm guessing that you're going to have to do this for me, but Tammy said, "Hello, Pontus, Houdini Pontus."
Houdini Pontus. Houdini Pontus. Hello, Pontus. You're back, Pontus. You're going bye-bye again. I don't know if he's going to hang on. Tough for a guy that's jumping in the lineup here and there and needs to
Yeah.
make an impact, and you get chucked in for one of those. Nightmare. It's I've been in that position before. You step into a stinker and you have a pretty good feeling that you're going to be back on the shelf after a performance like that. But tough timing for old Pontus, though. I noticed you saw that too, Tammy.
Here's the super chat from the scumbag in the chat. This one comes in from Nick Alberga. Hey,
oh 50 cents or what? 50 cents for sick kids? Thanks, Nick.
$7.
What a random number.
$6.99 actually. It is. I just see it there. Hey, Jason and Zacharias, big fan. This is where I was going with this. What did you think of the return of Toronto's 5-forward set on the power play? I fucking hate it. So I'll tee you off on this one, and then you can take it the rest of the way. Because for those watching tonight, if they watched what was Tuesday against the Flyers, they probably don't want to hear me talk about the power play again. I kid you not, I went on like a 10-minute tirade. Like, I was like, I'm not talking about the power play. I'm not talking about the power play. I watched that god-awful power play in the first period, and I was like, my head's gonna fucking explode watching this shit. Came on the post-game show, unleashed for a bit. I hate it. I hate everything about it. That was what I teased about. Could you be calling for somebody's head here on this one? What'd you make of the 5-forward power play here tonight, Rosie?
Well, to start with, that's the boat they're in. They're trying to throw this shit against the wall and hope that something sticks, to the point where you're going back to that debacle of a 5-forward. It's not even just that it's a 5-forward power play. It's a 5 irresponsibly defensively forward power play where no one, you need a guy or two to remember that there's still NHL players on the ice and they will go the other way with it if you're dicking around and shut your brain off and think about only one thing, and that's offense and getting your cookies and being fancy. And we've seen it before where they put it right up their ass when they're not paying attention and they think, oh, power play, now it's my time to shine. Oops, I forgot about, not dancing on the blue line and not making giveaways, and the turnovers can't happen, and those guys are going to jump, and this is an aggressive power or a penalty kill by the Carolina Hurricanes. None of that went in their mind. They just went, all right, yay, might be time for me to get a point here again. And I don't know what goes through their head on the power play, but when it's a 5 forwards, you might need to kind of double tap the idea of, hey, remember here, we gotta have someone thinking about D here too, and not giving up too much room or pucks or anything that's lackadaisical as far as having a heartbeat out there. And it's blown up in their face before, and it happened again tonight. I don't like it at all. I don't like 5-forward power play in the first place, let alone these particular 5 forwards that do not think about defense even in the slightest. And they were talking on the broadcast like, oh, you're gonna give a few shorties up when you're on. Why the hell would you even be
what's the point then?
thinking about giving up a shorty when you're on the power play? Like, it's mind numbing. But again, I digress. You're in this place because of how dog shit that power play is. Yeah. I think you fire Mark Savard today, bring in someone with a completely different voice who has a track record of overhauling struggling power plays. And even if it's not that person, anyone with a different voice to try to say, hey, listen, guys, this isn't that freaking hard. Every one of you is skilled and has the capabilities to carry a power play on your own. Are you telling me all you guys together can't do it? Here's what we do. Here's what this side does. Here's the system, whether a high umbrella or whatever the hell you want to do. I don't even care. Yeah. Do something that has some structure to it and have everybody buy in. I just can't believe we're still at this point at January 9th where they don't have a clue what they're doing on the power play, to the point where they're at five forwards out there getting snipped on. That's something I can get fired up about and can't put it on the shelf and say, next time. Because it's been dog shit forever, and it's got to change, man. It will bite them in the ass, be their Achilles heel.
It has.
You want to look back on another season and go, fuck, Blew
If
another
only we
one,
fixed
boys.
the power play.
Right in our prime. Couldn't score that one goal. Lost 2-1 in game 6 and lost 3-2 in game 7 because we couldn't score a goddamn goal on the power play with this group. You better figure it out because shit'll burn down if they get to that point again at the end of this season. It cannot happen.
Yeah, this is the thing I'm losing my mind about, right? This is also, by the way, the Montreal series that you had a lead in and you blew. Guess what stunk in that series? Your power play. What has been pedestrian every year against Florida and Tampa in each of those series? Your power play. Boston last year killed you. You had the worst fucking power play in the NHL playoffs. Like 16 teams, you had the worst power play. I think it was like single digit percent. I mean, I might be wrong on that one, but like I'm pretty sure it was.
No, it was like 4.8%, dude. It was shocking. It cost him the season.
Yeah, and it's again here tonight. I talked about it the other night against Philly, which is what made me lose my mind, right? It was you had one shot through 14 minutes in the first period of that game the other day. You were really sleeping to start that one. You had 2 power play opportunities, 4 minutes of the power play. Rosie, how many shots total did they get on those 4 minutes? 0. 0 shots. Like,
that's wild.
It's just incredible now. This is not a lull. This is not like a little slump. This is 43 games of being fucking atrocious on the power play. I don't know. I don't even think it is all Savard's fault here. Obviously, you and I just broke down the history of this team's power play, whether it was dating back to the last half of last season or its power plays in playoffs past. But regardless, something's got to change, and you know what it isn't, Rosie? The players on the team, because Nylander, Marner, Matthews, Tavares, Riley, OEL, they're not going anywhere. And tell me the defenseman that you're going out right now to get to quarterback the power play. You know, like Cale Makar's not fucking available for a trade. He's just not. He's not out there. So you got to fix it internally, and it likely starts at the coach here.
Well, why? What was one of the reasons they got beat tonight by the Carolina Hurricanes? The Carolina Hurricanes had a bit of a dog mentality, and they funneled pucks towards the net and got bodies there. And like this new team and this new identity with Craig Berube, it's more about accountability. Like, you're not pulling this bullshit anymore. We won't stand for it. You're going to get chewed out. Your ice time will suffer. And you're going to be a pariah if you play that kind of hockey. And that's the 5-on-5 stuff. And they've adopted it well, and they're going north with it, and they're not trying to stifle the creativity, but there's a standard that you have to play at, and there's no discussion about it.
Yep.
For some reason, I don't feel like I've seen that includes the power play. It's like, we're going to play this style of hockey. Craig Berube is going to implement it. Everyone needs to buy in, and we're going to have success. Oh, except for the power play. Because you fancy boys are you know what you're doing, and you're so skilled. No one's going to tell you what to do out there. And it's like there is no accountability on the power play. I don't get it. I don't know what the hell. You've had months and months and months to have your meetings, to break down your video, to see what's going wrong. Like, let's just dick around on the perimeter for 4 minutes straight and get 0 fucking shots. What? We're going to go do that again tomorrow. Like, you know what I mean? How has nothing changed?
Yeah.
How have we not been able to visibly see a drastic change in approach to that power play? And you're getting beat by the formula. I mean, it's always the case to simplify the hell out of something when it's just not going right. You cannot get a puck to go in the net. You can't find the chemistry. Well, simplify the living hell out of it. And on the power play, that means funnel, rifle, get pucks to the net and get bodies in front. You got a Matthew Nice who can stand in front. Matthews tonight is fantastic in front of the net and capable. Get pucks there. They keep dicking around looking for the absolute perfect seamstress type of thread the needle pass, back door, nobody's there, fantastic looking shot, and it never comes. And you waste 2 minutes over and over and over again looking and waiting and forcing that play that's never there. I can't believe that they haven't chomped down on these guys yet as far as accountability goes, to say, enough dicking around. You guys aren't fucking clicking. You're not good enough to be this street hockey power play shit. You guys, look at your numbers. It's horrendous. Do you guys want to put up points? Do you want to win games? Do you want to bury pucks? Then simplify and start threading them there. You're good enough to get the tips on it, to get the rebounds, you can bat it. Fucking Mitchie can bat it through his legs behind him to a guy back door while he's mucking in front for all I give a shit. There you go. Now you got to go through your legs, Mitch. I know how much that fucking makes you hard, but do something different and simplify and get this power play going. I just don't get why everything else there's accountability, and it seems like there's zero on this paper. Fuck, I didn't think I was going to get fired up today.
No, this is Nick's fault, dude. This is his question from like 6 minutes ago.
He's the one that did it, too. He's got the puppet strings going. What an ass.
He's like, well, these guys are going to overreact. You know, I both like, not tonight, not tonight. And then, boom,
I'm trying to find a clock to see how long I've been ranting for. God damn it.
Okay, well, I mean, the last thing, too, I would say, which you kind of touched on there, and we'll get off of this because it's going to drive everyone, including myself, up a wall. But the last thing I'd say is, like, you brought up, like, oh, you get the points. People keep saying to me, like, oh, like, what's it matter, like, about the power play? Like, you're up there at the top of the Eastern Conference. You're leading the Atlantic Division. You know, Marner's in the Art Ross race, you know, for most points. Like, yeah, and the power play has stunk like shit for 43 games. Could you imagine where this team would be if that wasn't the case? You know, it's just like you could even separate yourself further. And for people who want to say, okay, well, regular season does matter, like, I don't fully agree with Nick. I think there's like a middle ground to the people who say it means everything versus Nick, who's like just fast forwarding through till playoffs, which I get, but I think there's a middle ground where some of it matters for process, at least. Okay, if you want to say the regular season matters, then, hey, if you had a better power play, maybe you separate yourself more and you get yourself further ahead in the standings because you win more games and you don't go to OT or whatever it may be. Some of the stuff, I don't know, it's just nuts to me, Rosie, but we'll get off the power play if you,
well,
you have a final thought.
Just to touch, though, I mean, the teams that do well in the playoffs have a good power play every single time. That, you know, you work your nuts off, you keep your feet moving, you engage in the battles and just battle through everything. You're going to force the team to draw penalties against you, and then you make them pay. And it's what good teams do. It is essential to going the distance in the playoffs. Every team that goes to the conference finals and Stanley Cup final and wins the damn thing has got a power play that makes people pay. And this team, as much as any team, that should be their bread and butter. And the fact that they're having so much success this year with this dog shit power play tells me that they are in a place that they got their ducks in a row. They've got things sorted out. They've shored up their defense. They've got goaltenders that are capable. They're all committed to a system that's conducive to winning. But they should not have a lackluster power play. That should be like their bread and butter. So everything, the time is now. The time is now. You're not always in your prime. It's not always time to win. You're going to lose guys. You're going to have to pay guys. You're going to have to go through rebuilds during different periods of time. It's not always going to be like it is now with all these studs in their prime. You better sort your shit out because time is ticking and you've already wasted a ton of years. Yeah. It's just unexplainable and unacceptable for this group to have a dog shit power play. It should be the feather in their cap.
And, I mean, the power play, it doesn't have to be the best in the league. It just can't be this pathetic right now. It just can't be. Let's get ourselves onto a different note here on the show tonight. This one will make you feel better, and then probably a question after the fact that might not make you feel so good, Rosie. But we got to dig into these things anyway. There are some of the bigger topics, and we'll get you out of here, and we'll close out the show tonight. Won't be that long of one. But we do have a couple of super chats here. Okay. First super chat. This one comes from Scout the Wookiee. And this one, Rosie, is just to make everyone feel better, just to remind people about. Scout the Wookiee says, "This is the worst you'll see Wall," which honestly wasn't even that bad. Now think of Samsonov, and that'll make you feel a little bit better. That's a good point.
Yeah, it's true. Like at the beginning of the show, I had said like maybe this is a little reminder, a little wake up call about what needs to happen in front of your goaltenders when you rely on them too much. And it brings me back to years in the past where you just can't get that bloody save, and there's 1.5 on average weak goals that go in per game. It makes it very difficult to have long-term success, and the Leafs have been there before with their goaltending. So I agree. It is as bad as we've seen Joseph Wool play, and by all accounts, it's as bad as we will see him because he is damn good and he is on top of his game right now. But again, hopefully it's a little wake up call to these guys. Say, shit, we got to help our goalies out. They've bailed us out so many times. They just gave us a little reminder that what it's like when you're not getting the goaltending. So hopefully that does happen. But again, I'm not hitting the panic button on anything about what I saw tonight. It was kind of like Nick says, maybe a bit of a scheduled loss. You could see it coming. Only thing that pisses me off is that peeper.
Yeah, goaltending here, I'm not really like freaking out about it. And again, I think there was, as we just said, I can't really add too much to it. It's just you hadn't been that great defensively. At some point, you're gonna have to wake up, and this might have been you getting your bell rung a little bit. On the other side of things here, Rosie, another super chat that came in from Jeff McKay. He said, I know it's not common for them, but Eminem, Marner, and Matthews were a -6. They were god awful in their own zone. Just taking a look at the box score here tonight. I mean, most Leafs were 0, or a couple of them were +1. McMahon, Lorentz and Domi were +1 on the night. A couple other guys even, couple of -1s, and then you've got Marner -6, Matthews -6, Matthew Nyes -5. It's not like the most important stat in the world, but holy fuck, that stands out when you lost 6-3. What do you make of the minuses from those boys tonight and how they played defensively? Because, as you said, there was some sloppy stuff in the D zone, and a lot of it was coming when they were on the ice tonight.
It's focus and attention to detail they didn't have tonight, and I'm trying to think if I can think of a time when I've heard of a guy being -6 in 60 minutes of play. Like, that's outrageous, dude. I've almost never heard of that. That is so obviously piss poor. Like, once you're -3 and 4 on the night, wouldn't you start to, clean things up and protect the middle a little bit and have good sticks and, kind of favor the D side of the puck? Not fuck it. Let's just keep doing what we're doing and just rack them up to the tune of, -18 or some goddamn thing. It's, as a line, it's unbelievable. They need a reset. I hope that stings. I hope it's addressed. I hope they watch the video in slow motion of this lackluster, effort tonight. And again, 82 game season, it's not the end of the world. It was they were due for one of those, and every team, even good teams, have those. But I hope that's a nice little pee whack on those guys, and I hope they're embarrassed, and I hope they decide that they need to commit and focus to certain parts of the game a hell of a lot better than they did tonight.
Okay, this is bad. I'm on StatMuse right now. I'm looking at stats of the worst single game plus minus. I've organized it by date. Matthews and Marner tonight at -6. Chris Butler on January 5th, 2012 was a -7. That was the last time the most recent date of any of these big minuses in a game. I'm trying to find if I can see any more, but I'm pretty sure that is accurate. So the last time
worse?
it's 2012.
It's hard to do, man. I don't like I said, I don't think I've ever heard of anyone being -6 in a single game. I mean, that's a tough look, and there's not a lot of hiding from it. I mean, you have made multiple blunders on the wrong side of the puck throughout the evening to put up that kind of a monster number on the plus minus category. So again, hopefully it stings. Hopefully it's a wake up call. Hopefully they respond in kind after they get back home here and shake this one off. Realize that you have to show up every night and you have to focus and you can't rely on your goaltender and you got to pay attention to the details. And I am almost certain Craig Brubery will be preaching the exact same thing come next practice and video session. And yeah, those guys need to do a little wakey, and that I assume that they will too. No one's gonna play that style of hockey at this point in the season for all too long. At least you'd sure as hell hope not. God, that's a big number.
That's huge. You know what your worst plus minus was in an NHL game, and who it was against?
No, I do not.
It's not that bad. It's April 13th, 2014. You were a -2 against the Carolina Hurricanes in
Oh,
Carolina.
these goddamn
Or no,
Hurricanes,
wait,
eh?
first Carolina at home. You were at home in Philly. Yep.
Oh, Philly, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, probably someone else not covering their assignment, if you ask me. I don't think that's
You
on
had
me.
your guy. You had your guy.
Exactly.
Anything else from tonight, Rosie? Like, honestly, I know that this is it being pretty quick here, and normally you're probably expecting, people in the chat are expecting Rosie and I to lose our minds after this one. Like Rosie and I were texting before this. Honestly, this is one of those ones, like, it's the conversation we just had about the plus minus. What am I going to say about that? You know what I mean? Like, it's so bad, it speaks for itself, and I know our jobs are to speak on it, but it's like, it's just so bad. Like, it's like, that won't happen again. That's not happened before. I don't expect this to be common. I don't know. Did you have anything else to add from tonight's game?
Well, I mean, if you go back to the beginning of the game, Willie's popping off, right? And he looks like he's going to be the story of the night. And it's pretty easy to rest on your laurels and be like, "Oh, baby, Willie's popping off tonight. He's going to ride this whole train right into the station, and it's going to be great. We're up 2-rip. Our record when scoring first and having the lead is insane. It's kind of easy to rest on your laurels after that start." But the Carolina Hurricanes had other ideas, and you got to tip your cap to them. I thought they had a battle level and a compete level that outmatched the Toronto Maple Leafs. They simplified their game and funneled pucks to the net, and they knew Joseph Woll wasn't having his best game, and they just kept peppering them. And it was kind of a relentless effort, and the complete opposite on the other side of things with the Toronto Maple Leafs. So again, I don't want to lose my mind and start flipping out every time there's a bloody loss. It's not how you do it, man. You have to have some nuance about how you break these things down, and whether you're on the team or doing what we do. There's a lot of difference between one loss to another, and you got to really understand the timing of it, the reasonings, the rationale behind it, and sometimes just put her on the shelf and move on.
Actually, I got one question for you here. This got thrown in the chat, and somehow in all of this, it just went over my head. Pacioretty didn't play tonight. He was scratched. What did you make of that decision? I mean, Robertson is like, this is the stupidest thing of all time that I didn't bet on this tonight for him to score. You get healthy scratched, like it's the fucking lock of the century that he's going to come in and score the next game. So whatever, it's like that works out in your favor, but your guy, Pontus, he makes his way back into the lineup. It's Reeves and it's Pacioretty who come out. What'd you think about Pacioretty coming out? Because I hadn't even thought of that for some reason.
Yeah, I don't love it. I hope it's not something that's going to become a theme or a pattern of him switching him out. I think his pedigree is higher. I think his effectiveness on the ice is higher than, say, Pontus Holmberg's. I really do. I think that if you give these guys each 10 games, I don't even think it's even close about what they can accomplish out there. And Patches has shown a willingness to reinvent his game, play a style of hockey that he's not necessarily used to, which shows a team first mentality. He can play in the top six, he can play in the bottom six. He's got the skill, he's got the knowledge, he's got the experience and the pedigree. I don't want him out of the lineup very often. If Chief just had, sometimes you got to throw a guy up in the press box and say, hey, just take a night to watch from up top and get a little different mindset going, reset, and away you go, get back in the lineup. I hope that's what happens. But yeah, I don't love having him out of the lineup. And again, with the way the D handled themselves tonight, it looks as much as I've seen in a while that they're missing Jake McCabe back there as well. So not that they're blaming or that's an excuse or anything like that, but you could tell Jakey boy was out, and I did not like to see Patches out, and I hope he's not out long term. I don't think it's a good switch, Pontus for Patches personally.
No, and Nick is now continuing this pot stirring that he did here on the show, taking it online onto Twitter. He started it here by saying to us and getting us fired up on the power play. This guy tweets out, "Now's a good time to get 8x8 done with Mitch Marner. Take it or leave it."
Well, 8x8 by -6, man. That's I have a feeling his agent's not answering the phone tonight if they try to do that. It's a little bit of a tough one, but again, I've seen worse. I'm not worried. Shelving it, move on, learn from it. I hope it stings the boys because it's a little bit of a learning lesson about what happens when you take your foot off the gas.
Rosie, thank you as always for joining the show. I greatly appreciate it. You enjoy the rest of your nights the best you can. Are you on Morning Take tomorrow?
I gotta miss her tomorrow, but I'll be there with bells on Monday to break down the weekend.
There you go. Thanks for joining here tonight. Make sure to tune into Leafs Morning Take. Jay Rosehill, Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Rosie, thanks as always. We will
Thank you, buddy.
catch you on Monday. There you go. Rosie stopping by to help break down the game here tonight again. I mean, kind of the same sentiment by both of us there, and I figured it was going to be the case. I was laughing at you guys in the chat ahead of time, talking about that one where you're like, oh, Zach's going to freak out tonight or whatever, and then some of you guys were like, this is what he's going to talk about. Let's get in and get out, and it's kind of more in line with, like, I know that this is kind of pathetic, and I get it because I'm here trying to break down the game, but, like, I just don't like I watched what happened. We know what went wrong, but I'm just not going to freak out about this game because everything we've talked about for 8 games where it was like you kind of got by the skin of your teeth to win some of these games and ones that you shouldn't have. It happens. Like that came through. The defense hasn't been that good, and we kept trying to say it, and people are like, no, it's fine. They only let in 2 goals here tonight. They only let in 1 goal here tonight. It wasn't the third goal was an unlucky, whatever. Some of that stuff's happening. Well, tonight you didn't have the greatest of goaltending by Joseph Woll. Not gonna blame him, but it got the best of you. Yeah, you got caught here tonight, and it happens. What I will be mad at, honestly, is if in the next game on Saturday night, some of these things aren't addressed. I will be mad if there's no response from the group, if there's no elevated defensive play. Like, if some of these things don't come to fruition on Saturday night's game, yeah, I'll probably be pissed. If we watch this again come Saturday night, then yeah, like there's going to be a different conversation, a different discourse in that one. David Riggs, all caps, of course you blame Woll. Okay, first of all, not blaming Woll, if you listened to what was going on with the conversation between us or what people in the chat are saying, because the rest of the chat seems to be pretty dialed in on this one, the D wasn't very good. Not just the D, the 6D. Like, the team defensively was pretty bad. There was a lot of breakdowns. There was a lot of good opportunities given up to the Canes. This is a pretty back and forth game. The one thing I even give credit for to the Leafs, like, this is even part of where it's like, you feel like you're losing your mind watching this one, like, just with confusion, because on one end, like, they're generating chances offensively, they're moving on speed, they're getting up ice pretty well, like, in the offensive zone, they seem to have a decent opportunities at scoring just based on like shots and chances. But then it was like flip down the other end and you're just giving up. You remember that game against Columbus when Matthews earlier in the season, and Matthews said it was like the neutral zone was like an Autobahn? That's kind of what it was like tonight. I mean, and when I'm talking about the chances created, like, looking at the expected goals, which aren't everything, there's things you got to factor in here, but Carolina had 4.97, which makes sense. And again, to the point of Joseph Woll, who wasn't that great, which kind of exposes the defense for how poor they've been playing, or porous they've been playing over the last little while. It's like, okay, he gave up another goal there, like a little bit more than what was expected against him. There was an empty net goal for the 6th goal. For the Leafs side, they had 3.55 expected goals. Like, they generated chances there. They got their goals. They got a couple of goals. They were in this thing, and it was just defensively, like, they could not find a way to tighten this shit up, and that will kill you. Like, this Carolina team is usually pretty good defensively. You finally got yourselves into an open situation where you were able to generate opportunities against them, and you just couldn't figure it out down in your own end. I don't know. It's one of those weird games where it's just like, we saw this coming. We knew this was going to happen at some point. You kind of lucked your way through it. I've been arguing with people in the chat over the last little while where people are losing their minds like, oh, we won the game. Like, stop being upset or negative about stuff. It's like, I'm not upset about winning. Like, you gotta love that. It's just sometimes in these wins, we just bury everything that's gone on that wasn't great leading to that win. Did you deserve to win that game? Did you get lucky on opportunities? The power play wasn't great. Morgan Riley's still struggling. Like, some of that stuff is just really showing its ugly face. And it gets tucked away a little bit when you win games and you find ways to overcome some of that. Here tonight, like, all those things came to the surface because Joseph Woll did not have a very good game. And I'm not blaming Joseph Woll. The stuff that went on in front of him, defensively specifically, was mind-boggling. Like, that's part of it too, where it's like, I can't even get mad because some of it was so insane. It's funny. Like, I'm watching Austin Matthews stand with his legs still, straight, just kind of like looking below the goal line. It's happened in the third period, and it's like they didn't score in it, but he's just standing there looking below the goal line, just oblivious to what's behind him. Carolina comes in. I can't remember who the forward was, but he comes breaking in right behind off Matthews' ass with Matthews not looking. Pass comes to him in the slot. He gets a shot off. He gets a prime opportunity. He doesn't score, but it's like, I could like freak on Austin Matthews for that, but he played 60 minutes of that. The whole game was like that tonight, and it's like, that was your night, like, to just, let's throw his tape out. Let's throw Marner's tape out. Like, that was so atrocious. I don't even know. Like, you didn't have dumb plays or like, oh, like, that was a bad game from that guy. Like, that was so pathetic. I don't think those guys will ever do that again. And I'm not going to, like, freak out about it. David Riggs coming back in. I'm kind of confused, honestly, what he's looking at. Like, of course you blame Woll. My issue is, he's been so good for the whole season, and like, David, look, why are you trying to blame Woll here? Look ahead of him. Look ahead of the guy of Joseph Woll. Yeah, he had a bad game tonight, but the guys in front of him gave up some pretty primo opportunities as well. It just wasn't good. It just was it was bad all the way around. Power play, no bueno. All right, let's get to a couple of our segments here before we wrap things up. Before we do, though, for those of you guys who don't know already, make sure to head on over to nationgear.ca for the Nation Vacation. It's not your average trip. We're going to Music City to watch the Leafs take on the Predators in their own barn from March 20th to 23rd. We're packing our jerseys and heading to Nashville. If you're looking for flight packages, we've got them. If you're handling your own travel, you can do that too. We've got non-flight options. Whatever works for you, just get yourself there because you don't want to miss it. Myself, Nick, Rosie, producer Vic, we'll all be down there in Nashville from March 20th to 23rd, taking it all in, visiting over at Hutz's bar. Hutz will be there as well, actually. You got to throw that in too. So make sure to head on over to nationgear.ca. Nashville awaits. I don't know why that screen went white for as long as it did. Carl Acuna, 24-24 Orange Bowl. Good stuff. Go Irish. 6 1/3. Zach, did you bet on Nylander anytime goal? You know what? Now is as good a time as any to get to our best bet segment. And our best bet segment, as you guys know, is brought to you by Bet365, proud partner of the Leafs Nation pregame and the Leafs Nation after dark. Open an account with Bet365 today and bet on a huge range of markets. Use code NATION, all caps, NATION, code NATION, NATION. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Bet365. Make sure to head on over to Bet365 today. Our best bet segment. No, unfortunately, I did not bet on William Nylander anytime goal. I bet William Nylander personally every single game for 7 games. I bet, or 8 games, whatever it was. I bet William Nylander anytime goal every single time. He did not score one. I chose not to bet William Nylander anytime goal tonight. I also did not give out William Nylander anytime goal tonight. Unfortunately, tonight we gave out Mitch Marner anytime goal. And unfortunately for us, Mitch Marner did not score. So we lose a half unit on that one. This season, we continue to spiral over the last few games here, which has been just an absolute abomination. Looking at our record here in the last, dating back to game 35, we have not won since game 34, which we hit a William Nylander anytime goal back-to-back. We tried with the Mitch Marner here tonight. We lose $50, a half unit on this one, and that puts us to down 3.7 units on the season. And the worst part about this is that we were up before this freezer. We were up on the year before we lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in a row. So I guess Willie was on a 8-game freezer because we bet on him in every single one. So yeah, we're struggling here on the best bets. I'm not going to lie. I thought tonight was the night that we get the Mitch Marner anytime goal. I thought this line, I mean, I predicted the game pretty much as it was going to go in terms of this is going to be lots of offense. They were going to go back and forth and trade chances. I didn't think the Leafs defense was playing that great going into this one. I didn't think the Canes had been as tight defensively as they would like to be. I figured it was going to come soon, but I didn't think they were going to be able to like impose their will defensively on the Leafs. I thought, okay, we get a bunch of goals, he gets some back and forth chances. Maybe this allows the first line to get rocking. What an idiot. -6, -6, -5. Those are the plus minus of Matthews, Marner, and Matthew Nyes, respectively. So they confirmed did not get rocking here tonight. They did not look very good, and that one stings. So we lose that. Let's get now to our play of the game. Play of the game here. Play of the game for me is going to be... Play of the game is going to be the Austin Matthews, like, diving, spreading out goal. For him to... I think Notre Dame just got an interception there with 30 seconds left in Penn State's area. There you go. Austin Matthews, since returning from injury this second time, this is the best that he has looked since even the start of the season. He looks physically engaged. He doesn't look like he's scared of getting involved in any plays physically. He's not shying away from any confrontation, any altercations that are going on in terms of like battles or anything like that. He's right in there on the forecheck. He's finishing checks. He's taking hits. He's getting to the front of the net, kind of taking and giving some abuse there as well. So he's kind of come back and he's thrown himself right into it. I don't know what it was that led to that, but like, I mean, when I say what led to that, I mean over the period of time where he's recovering between the Buffalo game, which hurt him, and then him returning to action. Because we all thought that he was going to get, he was going to be out for a while. Mike Batson says Matthews doesn't get play of the game. He was -6. It's a play of the game. It's not how he played or player of the game. It's play. One play, specific, one play. It's his goal there that he scored, kind of getting outstretched on the power play. And again, I mean, we talk about the power play. I'm not going to look at that one goal that was scored and say, whoop-de-doo, they got it done. They still didn't look good. Like, they had one play that broke through where Matthews buries on that, and that was it. That's my play of the game. Honorable mention goes to Wall. There was a massive save that was made sliding across. I think it was Sebastian Aho. Gets across on the backdoor cross crease, gets his toe on it, just barely saves that one. So shout out to Joseph Wall for that save as well. Also, to those of you guys in the chat here who haven't already, we are 5 likes away from 50. Make sure to hit that like button so we can get out of here with 50 likes on the show tonight. It would be a shame if we came up that short, getting all the way there and just not completing it. So make sure to hit that like button. Let's close it out with 50 as I answer the final question and get to our grade of the game. HK Chinese Canadian. Zack, what will it take for you to give up on the Leafs and have no hope in them? They just showed by giving up a goal in 17 seconds to Carolina that they are back to what they have always been. Losers. HK Chinese Canadian, I appreciate you commenting and the support. Honestly, the honest answer is I'm just an idiot. So probably never. And I'll continue to buy in and buy in and buy in. And I'll continue to say they can do it. They'll find a way. This team is different. Something just inside me always brings me back and makes me believe in this guy or in this group and feel like they can do it. And then they rip my heart out. So I'm an idiot. And at no point will I probably give up. At some point, I might just get tired of it, honestly. Or if I just realize, like, this team actually just sucks, which they don't suck. They're just missing some key ingredients to be able to get you over the hump and win some games. But, I'm not going to give up. We're still right there with it. 2 more likes. Let's also get to our final segment of the night here. Let's get to our grade of the game. And our grade of the game, Leafs Nation for life is right, Billy T. Our grade of the game, you guys send it in the chat. I think mine is simple here tonight. I think it's pretty straightforward. I think I'm just going to go with an F. Yeah, you had some chances offensively, but after the first 10 minutes of the game, you basically fell off a cliff. The goaltending, it stunk. Power play didn't look good. They scored 1 goal, but I don't think they look good. That first line, like, being that bad is so unbelievable defensively. Like, I'm even drawing this down lower. Like, I don't know. David Riggs, like, who is this guy? Why is this guy so mad about Joseph Wall? He's got 1 game. I see David Riggs in the chat for the first time in the history of the show. This guy's just ripping on Joseph Wall. What are we doing? We're okay. Pump the brakes. 1 bad game. We're fine. Let's relax. F. I think it's just an F on this loss here tonight. I think it was ugly. 1 more like, guys. 1 more like. How do we not get there? Yeah, you guys are all on that. Oh, last swing. Jay Lee. Berube going to get fired at some point. Jay! Guys, we need to calm down. They're still at the top of the Eastern Conference. They're still in the first in the Atlantic. No McCabe here tonight. No Anthony Stolars. Joseph Wall is eating all the games. They don't want to play Dennis Hildeby. We're okay. We're okay. It's all good. Jeez. People are getting... I mean, I get it. Like, tonight's a frustrating game. It's just like, it was so bad tonight. Like, it's not like this is who they are. This feels like a game Berube snaps. I don't know. Thanks for liking the stream. Appreciate it. We hit 50. Here's the Smalling salts. Thank you. All the world's a stage. That's going to do it for me on the show here tonight. Appreciate everyone who tuned in. Make sure to hit that like button. Subscribe here. Subscribe here to the channel. Turn on notifications so you don't miss anything here on the stream, here on the channel, whether it's Leafs Morning Take, if it's Leafs Nation After Dark, if it's pre-games, anything like that. Also, by the way, Saturday, I will not have a game preview, but Nick Alberga will be live with the boys from Oilers Nation. They will be doing a game preview here. It'll be coming out on the channel. So will not be me, but Alberga will be doing that one. So make sure to tune in. And then I will be back with you guys Saturday night following the game against, I believe it is the Oilers on Saturday night, is it not? I think it's, no, Oilers is, what am I looking at here? I gotta see this. Hold on a second. I'll give you guys a proper answer right now. Canucks. Not Oilers. Canucks. I don't know why I had Oilers in my head. Canucks. Saturday. Thanks everyone for watching, liking, subscribing. We'll see you guys back here Saturday night following the game for another Leafs Nation After Dark. This has been game number 43 of the Toronto Maple Leafs regular season, losing to the Carolina Hurricanes here tonight, 6-3 in a sad, frustrating game. But we'll figure it out. We'll get it back on track. Mike Tammy, when we going out for dinner? Attaboy, Mike. Get after it. Thanks, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your nights. See you all Saturday. Until then, keep Leafing. For more content just like this, including game previews, post-game live shows, Leafs Morning Take, Monday through Friday with Nick Alberga and Jay Rosehill with special guests, as well as instant reaction videos. Make sure to be subscribed here to the Leafs Nation YouTube channel. Turn on notifications so you don't miss anything, and drop a like.